FTX is a crypto trading company. This company has its own token called FTT. And both of these things are completely on fire, and that fire has spread to the entire crypto market. The story is still unfolding, and many of the details are a little fuzzy. Some people are saying that FTX is $8 billion in debt, some are saying $12 billion. This video isn't really about the exact numbers. It's about the order of events and the disgusting mismanagement of user funds by FTX and Alameda Research, both of which are entities under the guidance of Sam Bankman-Fried, who is usually called by his initials SBF. Now, if you're just learning about SBF because of the recent news, you should know that all of this drama actually started on December 8th of 2021. SBF is testifying in front of Congress. He is trying to work with the government directly to regulate crypto.
I think that it is coming, and I think it is important, and I think that it's healthy that the industry will be regulated.
Just a year prior, on December 8th of 2020, FTT was only $4. And now on December 8th of 2021, it's $44. FTX is exploding in popularity. FTX is buying the naming rights for arenas. Steph Curry, Tom Brady, and the woman who now has half of Tom Brady's money are all spokesfigures for FTX. Esports teams are being bought and branded by FTX. So SBF is giving testimony to Congress about the nature of the industry and about the regulations he thinks should be implemented. Then a year goes by. And on October 28th of 2022, which was 12 days ago, SBF does an interview on a popular YouTube channel podcast thing called Bankless. The interview is 2 hours long, and we're going to sum it up in about 10 seconds.
Why is Aave somehow different than email?
So, why is it different than email?
You argued so well and so passionately
Yeah.
to not block email with
Yes.
licensing and KYC. I loved hearing that.
Yep.
That filled my soul with joy. Such
Yeah.
good arguments. Why does that not apply to financial transactions?
So, why does it not apply to financial transactions? I think there are a few things here.
SBF is arguing that crypto needs to be heavily regulated, and that users should not be able to use DeFi without having their names and identities tied to every transaction. And he is arguing that this is for their safety. He says he wants more transparency. Yes, just 12 days before losing billions of dollars in user funds, SBF is arguing that people shouldn't be allowed to use DeFi because it's too dangerous. The hypocrisy on display here is immeasurable. 4 days later, November 2nd, CoinDesk reports on leaked documents showing that Alameda Research has billions of dollars worth of FTT tokens. And remember, both FTX and Alameda are run by SBF. So here's the scam. SBF starts his own crypto company called FTX, and they have a token called FTT. Advertising and promises of big returns get users depositing other assets like Bitcoin, ETH, and stables. Then, FTX uses those assets to leverage buy FTT. So the market cap of FTT explodes, and FTX gets to say they're worth billions of dollars. Alameda Research, who is also owned by SBF, just so happened to have a ton of FTT, and now Alameda gets to say they're worth billions of dollars too. How very convenient. Now, Alameda uses those FTT tokens to get loans of their own by using FTT as collateral. These loans are used to buy lots of Solana. Wait, why Solana? Oh, well, you see, SBF just happened to be an early investor in Solana. How very convenient. And if you think it stops here, you're wrong. Remember, SBF was working with politicians and giving testimony to Congress. Well, now that he made a bunch of money, what did he do with it? He spent $40 million on the 2022 US elections. Now, some people think that SBF was making donations like this in order to, buy political favors so that these newly elected politicians would implement the regulations he wants. I mean, I'm not saying that, but other people said that a lot. Like a lot. So CoinDesk reports all of this bad behavior, and SBF spends the next 5 days frantically tweeting about how user funds are safe, and everything is fine, and this is just a ploy by competitors to smear his good reputation. And then FTX closes withdrawals and starts declaring bankruptcy, and SBF deletes most of the tweets. On November 6th, Changpeng Zhao enters the picture. He goes by the initial CZ, because obviously this story needs every person, token, and company to have initials. CZ announces that Binance will be selling off $2.1 billion worth of FTT. Then, 2 days later, on November 8th at 11 a.m., SBF announces that CZ and Binance is offering to buy out FTX, like the whole exchange. And this timing is really important, 11 a.m. November 8th, because 3 hours later, at 2 p.m. on November 8th, someone is liquidated. 990 million FTT tokens were liquidated at a price of $7.25. Yes, someone who has $7 billion worth of FTT just so happened to go along with it right in the time frame where SBF was announcing this partnership. How very convenient. As of November 10th, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Alameda owes FTX $10 billion, which means that FTX is short $10 billion to its users, who, according to the Wall Street Journal, had about $16 billion in deposits. Also, Binance is not going to acquire FTX because, and this is a quote, "The issues are beyond our control or ability to help." And it gets worse. This whole time, everyone who has ever been given FTT as collateral is selling it because they realize its value is going to tank because FTX is going bankrupt. So everyone is selling everything, and Crypto.com stopped accepting USDC and USDT from Solana, citing market concerns. And the story still doesn't stop. Everyone who has ever been in bed with SBF, Alameda, FTT, BlockFi, Genesis, or Solana is getting absolutely wrecked. Remember, a lot of the value in Solana is propped up by Alameda and SBF, and now that they're declaring bankruptcy, they're going to be liquidating all of their positions. And so if you look at the biggest losers in the top 100, it was FTT and Solana. And that's where we are right now. SBF took user funds to pump the FTT token to a value that far exceeded its worth. Then the FTT token was used as collateral for Alameda to make leveraged trades with. They bought a lot of Solana. SBF, who just so happens to be an early investor in Solana, took $40 million of the money he made to try and influence US elections as to implement regulations that would enrich himself and his companies. CoinDesk released reports of just how bad everything was, and the moment it got out, everything started falling apart. And then his company lost user funds, and then he went bankrupt, and everyone and everything got liquidated. So what's the moral of this story? When people tell you they want to regulate you for your safety, they're lying. Alright, see you next time.